What up? Let me just check this mic. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Hi. Welcome to my Monday afternoon dev stream. It's a little dark, so my green screen's showing. Pardon me. Oh, how embarrassing. My green screen's showing. What's up? So this week we are launching, kinda. Yeah, we're releasing an alpha build to the public ish on well, I don't know, Tuesday, I guess, on May 1st, May Day, as it were. So with that in mind, we're just in all hands on deck, fixing a whole bunch of bugs and making this level fun to play. If you want to get in on that, join our mailing list at terrorarium.games or alien.garden. I'll get someone to drop a link into chat there for the mailing list sign up. And we'll send you a link. I think we're also going to set up a Discord so you can give us your feedback. There you go. Got that link. Oh, hello. I got an SSL error. Yeah, okay. Well, do it without the S, I guess. Can I edit a message? And timeout. Yeah. You can hear me, I guess. Yeah. Somebody? Anybody? Put on my headphones so I can listen to my music. What am I listening to today? I don't know. Pop punk. Less Than Jake. Sure. Let me see what's on my list today. Some sound effects, some visuals. Yeah. Okay. Let me just hop into Git and make sure that I am all the way up to date. Yep. Cool. Don't update Visual Studio. Okay. Let's look at Trello. I'm not gonna show you my Trello, although maybe one day we will. We'll do some radical transparency public roadmap. But for now, it's internal, and we just want to get the features that we want done before we ask you guys what else you want to see. All right. Well, that's a quick one. Actually, that'd be a sweet extension or like an OBS plugin, like currently working on to do. Yeah. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm gonna change the. Here, let me just run it so you can see what I'm talking about. Welcome to my regular viewers, Electrical Skateboard and Fat Man Leg. Thank you so much for jumping in. So you can see we have, if anyone's watching this on the VOD and doesn't know what on earth this game is, these little creatures are called Moogu. They're following me around, and I don't remember the hotkey for that. And when I press this button, they switch and they become a different type. So these red ones are Fire Moogu. For now, that's what we're calling them. And these blue ones, for now, we're calling them Heavy Moogu. And as you can see, they also move differently in the way that they follow me and the way that they interact with each other. And so my Trello card is make the heavy ones, the blue ones, stay a little bit closer to each other. So without further ado, let's do that. So I mean, the thing that's making them stay away from each other is the obstacle avoidance radius. And so that's the wrong one that I'm dragging there. Radius. Yeah. So if I just make that radius a little smaller, that'll do it. So if I remember correctly, the place that I put that is here. So if I just change that, let's see what the fire one is doing. So we've got these things called reagents, which control a lot of different properties of the Moogu. And so the heavy Moogu, their reagent set to 0.5, the fire one's set to 0.25. So I'm just going to go somewhere in between. Let's go 0.35 and see what that looks like. And because it's a scriptable object, I didn't actually have to press stop to do that. I could have just done it and then swapped types twice. So 0.25, 0.35. 0.4. Sure. Yeah, I'll call that done. They do this weird thing you can see where they're like stacking on top of each other and then popping out. So I don't know what causes them to be on top of each other in that way. They're switching between states. The nav mesh agents are, what's the deal? Is it the collision detection? This will probably have a huge impact on performance if I change the collision setting. So actually, let's just do one thing at a time. Git push origin master. Not actually, just git commit. Default heavy dot asset made heavy Moogu. You can't see what I'm typing. That's okay. Stay a little bit closer to each other. Commit. Great. So yeah, let's try this though. I changed the collision detection to continuous. I don't think that's going to do anything, but let's just see. Did that do it? No, it didn't. What's going on? Oh, maybe that did do it. I don't see the popping anymore. I mean, it could be the stopping distance. It just like surprises me that that did it. Maybe undo the other thing and just see. Okay, so that's back to 0.5, and now they're doing it again. Shoot them up in the air, let them fall down and sort themselves out. Why would they be doing that? They shouldn't be doing that. The capsule collider. It's not a trigger, so the capsule collider should be stopping them from overlapping. It's not like they're spawning inside each other. I'm gonna try something crazy. Making them not kinematic. No, that won't do. That won't at all do what I want. Nope, I'm not gonna do that. Let's go back to the prefab. Is this the prefab? No. Here's the prefab. Okay. Discrete, interpolate, extrapolate. Steering, angular speed, acceleration, some of those. Let's do something with the avoidance priority. Yeah, okay. So in this wander state, we're setting their avoidance priority. And where else are we doing that? In follow player, we're setting their avoidance priority, yeah. And in go to ability, so what are the other states that they have? Or sorry, so the way we set up our states is that every state has an action associated with it. And some of these actions have parameters. Follow player avoidance priority, go to ability avoidance priority. So lower priority in Unity words means they'll push around other people. So wander. Okay, so I'm gonna, if I set wander to have a higher number than follow player, then that should work. May as well do the same on go to procreate. Sorry, I don't actually have enough screen real estate on this stream to keep it zoomed in the way I want it and to do that. Cool. Yeah. Ooh, what's going on there? There should be 4 spaces or 1 tab. Never 3 spaces. Man, should have brought a glass of water with me. Yeah, okay. So let me just confirm this pattern that I've been doing. Public float, public int, sure. So we'll do that. Just give it a default value before Unity picks it up and does that for us. Let's see what happens now. And make sure I remember to put that that heavy Moogu back to closer together. I don't think I did that. What did I have it before? 0.35? 0.4? Oh, hold on one sec. There. Sorry. Now you don't have to hear Wayne. Wayne, our game designer. Okay. So, what's up? They're closer together. They're still kind of in this poppin' thing. Handy dandy inspector here. So the avoidance priority should be changing between default and wander. Wander is 50. I bet default has no action. So they're actually not alternating between anything. They're just in wander, which is weird because they shouldn't be in wander. They should be in follow player. So why are they not in follow player? I just want to figure out like what makes them do that. Is it the state? Is it the nav mesh? So this one is in wander. They should really all be in follow player, shouldn't they? Let's scroll. Follow player, follow player. Okay. So those gizmos are just choking my editor. Let's take a look at the state machine. What's going on here? So states. default. So yeah, that. Go to ability, go to air, whistle, procreate within it. So follow player state. So what's this? Within attraction range. So this one, as an example, switching between default and wander, which is surprising because I feel like it should be in follow player state. Attraction range, stopping distance. Okay. Okay, so I've changed the arrival distance, which makes them now they're definitely in follow player state, and they'll spread out when they move. But nav mesh agents are really doing that now. Okay, yeah. So if I change that to like a 7. I mean, I don't mind it. I just don't know what the problem is. So it's I like, you know, I'm not the kind of guy who's like, oh, it's not a bug, it's a feature. I like, if I don't know what's causing it, then I'm not going to make it a conscious choice. So what is causing it? Okay, so wander does work. This one can't wander because it's stuck behind other ones. Is that what's going on? So evidently wander needs to have a higher avoidance priority than wander needs to have a higher priority than follow player, or vice versa. I don't know. Let's try both. Right. Let's try this. So they will push through all of the other Moogu and run very far away now. Yep, okay. I wrote myself these notes and I don't even remember. So let's make that real big. And then that second number is outside of that range. They will switch back from call to wander. All right. Sorry, just getting some Slack messages. Okay, what's the deal here? So, I don't know. The nav mesh, like, arrival distance, I guess, is the problem. I'm not clear. That's kind of neat. They're not on top of each other anymore, right? Yeah, no, I don't like it. Revert! I did actually like having the wander a bit bigger. Okay, let's try that. Wander 25. Go to procreate 35. So they'll, if they see a corpse, no. So I'm gonna make that like 10 because going to a corpse should be the thing that like really they makes them push through. Go to ability. No, I'm gonna switch these. So go to ability. Like if they need to walk to create a bomb or an anvil, that'll even be higher priority. So go to ability. That's the state, not the action. Probably don't need to make these scriptable objects anymore because like we have the state here, for example, and I made it so I can do the inspector there. Okay, make that 10. That's 25. Yeah. Okay. Wander. Set that back to sure, 45. Follow player is like the default, and so it's 50. So they kind of like everyone will push past the ones that are just kind of chilling around the player. Yeah, that's still like, what is going on here? They're walking into each other. Like, literally into each other. Am I turning off the nav mesh in like default state? I shouldn't be. Maybe I don't need the default state. Yeah, that's not what I wanted there. Enable imagination, set target, and then so they shouldn't be leaving the wander state until they get to their destination. Okay, choice with an interaction following player state, arrived at destination default state. So let me just, if I remove this, what happens? Well, hello, another viewer, Mr. Hamsterrow. We're a small enough channel I can shout out all the viewers. You don't even have to give me money or do anything. Okay, that's kind of different. Maybe it was just the wander radius being too small. Okay. Okay, let's go down this path. Let me just check what's dirty, and I think I've made too many changes. Okay, discard. Okay, let's change that back to 3. That's where I was. And then, so let's see if maybe we, right. So from Wander, we were saying if you've reached your destination, go to default. And I've removed that now, so when they wander, they reach their destination, and they just stay in Wander, but they don't pick a new destination, which is fine until, yeah, no. Let's add that back. Transitions, choice. That's not it. I've forgotten what I was doing there. Forgot which choice that was. That one. Odin Inspector is being weird. It's not showing me all of the ones that I have in there. I don't know why. So when we reach the destination, we go to default. Sure. So now let's go to default and see what's going on, because maybe we shouldn't be going straight back to Wander. So use ability, air, whistle, procreate. Within attraction range, follow player. So I think maybe we want some other choice for like Wander. What does this look like? Distance squared, maximum squared, stopping distance squared. If distance is less than the maximum, so yeah, if we're within that range, and we are greater than the stopping distance, yeah, so that's with the player, right? The problem is, yeah, then it's going to wander and it's just going to keep flipping. I feel like the quick solution is just disable wander. Or I'm going to duplicate this. So we got this thing which we're calling whistle right now, which we definitely need to change because it's literally a whistle in Pikmin. Okay, so it's this though. It's just the call range. What did we call it? This is not what I wanted. I'm looking at the wrong script. This one. Call, follow range, attraction range. Yeah. Call distance? Sure. Is that what it was before? Nope. Great. Control Shift Z. What is this? This is a bilingual keyboard. Wow, that threw me off a lot. Okay. So let's just try that. default state. So I don't think we need this is dead choice because I'm pretty sure. Do we? I mean, the state machine doesn't tick if it's dead, so I don't want to have that in there. That feels like unnecessary, but I mean, maybe removing it will break everything. So this is why we need tests, but it's really hard to do unit tests in Unity. Anyway. No, you know what? I can leave it there because I can just not have a false and it'll fall through the next one. Cool. And wander is right there. So now assets, create. Oh, you don't see my menus, sorry. Move it into choice. Realize it's in the wrong menu too. So I also just realized I'm way off track, and I'm gonna, at the very least, make a new Trello card. So oh wait, I think I had a card for that. Yeah. It's also one that I totally said I wouldn't be able to fix this week, but if this fixes it, then I'm done, and if not, then I'm also done. Okay, save, play. Switched to a standing desk recently, and now my shoulder's really sore, but like everything else feels great. So I don't know if it's worth it or not. I mean, yes, it's definitely worth it, but I don't know if like there's a quick solution to my problem either. Okay, so it's definitely not fixed. So I think maybe the problem is now if they stay in default state, they don't really have like, the nav mesh agent's not telling them to do anything, and so maybe that's why they are just staying there. They don't have a target. They're not being told to go anywhere. Maybe that's what it is. Well, it actually is fixed in that they're stacking, but they're not popping anymore. So switching. Yeah, okay, sure. They don't feel the need to like get closer to me, I guess. Let's see. If I do the fire, make that a little smaller. Works for me. No, I never want to turn on sticky keys Windows. I love accessibility features, but absolutely not. Pressing shift 5 times should not ever be a hotkey for really anything, but definitely not a global hotkey for a feature that realistically a pretty small subset of your users are using. I hate you, sticky keys. Microsoft, if you're watching, I hate sticky keys. Okay, I'm going to call that fixed, and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to do a git commit, see how many files changed. Yeah, okay, 1, 2... Commit. Next. Make the fire spread slower is a thing that I had on myself. So this is going to be annoying. Yeah, okay. So I made a whole bunch of prefabs that are flammable, and the fire spreads from one to the next, and the problem is that it's in all of the individual prefabs. And so if I want this fire to spread slower, I need to change all of the prefabs. So let's do this one. I'll show you guys what it looks like now, and then I'll change it, and then I will see if there's any way for me to change a whole lot at once. Hello to yet another viewer, Mr. No, I already said hi to Mr. Hamster Row, I think. But hello, Green Tea Fox, or Greent Fox, or I don't know, maybe it's Dutch. Grunt Fox. Okay, so they set them on fire, but you saw that it spread like immediately. So the way that that's set is, well, it's set in a whole bunch of places, but it's a bunch of things that kind of combine to create that effect, but fuel depletion, and fire spread tick rate. So fire spread radius and fire spread strength combined with burn threshold and max heat. So on this one in particular, if I set the, let me see if I remember this right. If I double the burn threshold, it should take like twice as long for them to catch fire. Assuming I'm working on a prefab, which I'm not. So that's going to do nothing until I hit apply prefab. Let me try that again. Well, let's quintuple it just for ease of illustration. And those will respawn. Those will respawn in a minute. I'm too impatient. Okay. So, spread strength. So I believe that's how fast the heat spreads. Like how much heat is applied to the things beside it every tick. We definitely need to get like a global tickable sort of class, which we used in an earlier version of this game. Okay, that's better. And then once they run out of fuel, they disappear. Cool. These ones are not flammable. This stuff over here is flammable. And again, it spreads too quickly. So these ones are the ones I was talking about before, where it's a whole folder full of prefabs. But I think, I better be able to edit multiple. If not, I'll have to go in and change the mono behavior. Okay, good. Multiple. So burn threshold, max heat, heat spread radius, fire spread radius. Sorry, heat spread strength. Made myself a little Unity 3D tongue twister here. All right, 0.25. Sure. That's too many zeros. You probably can't tell from here, from where you're watching, but my Unity slowed right down when I tried to do that. Fuel depletion. I'm gonna give them. That's fine. Whatever. And that's probably the majority of things that are flammable. So maybe this wasn't as much work as I thought it was gonna be. I can search in the scene view for flammable stuff. I just can't do it in whatchamacallit, in the project view. Oh yeah, explosive bug, that's later. Flammable box, I think those were replaced by these plants, but I may as well update it on them. Nope, because those were set not to spread. Cool. So yeah, to search like this, you just do T and then the name of the mono behavior. I don't believe you can do it with abstract classes or like interfaces, but I'd love to be wrong. Sky tree. These are flammable apparently. Imported object. Oh, right. Where did I do that? No, I don't know what's going on. Why did that say it was flammable? Oh, the prefab's not flammable, just the instance. That is not how we build things. Oh, that annoys me a lot. Anyway, but it's set not to spread, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay. So if I save, dirtied like 25 prefabs, but that should work. Just make sure I haven't made updated scene change. Do a little test. Serious shoulder pain, man. Oh. This is like really not enjoyable. Ow. Okay. Pardon me. Cool. Those work. Fire. 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 I feel like, you know, certain types of fire should spread faster. Those ones, maybe they want to stay lit longer. I haven't hit commit yet, so I'm going to do that. That's how you kind of, the difference between a grass fire and, you know, a log fire, I guess, is how fast it lights on fire and how long it stays on fire. So I'm going to double how long they stay on fire. Yeah, wow, Unity just does not like editing multiple assets like that. Whole computer's frame rate dropped. Okay, save. Back over to Git. Commit. Spawn, next task on my Trello, spawn smoke/ash prefab on fire burned effect. Yeah, so if you take a look at these ones here, the way that I set up flammable is we have on catch fire an event. It's just a Unity event. Hey, that's not hooked up. That would explain why the particles aren't playing. Let's fix that right now. Select prefab. So on catch fire is supposed to be particle system.play. So we'll save that. And I'm actually going to remove this material. That was like kind of a placeholder thing where when, what am I trying to say? Yeah, before we had the particle systems, it would just like make it red, and it's a nice quick way to do it. But I'm going to do this now. And then on burn, particle system stop, and on extinguish. So I'm going to need like a prefab spawning system that is not on this object because it needs to like make a, you know, a child sort of thing. I'm gonna grab that from this other game we made, Rival Books of Aster. I was pretty proud of it. I made a really sweet like effect prefab spawning system. It did all the pooling stuff. Although maybe Nah, I'll do that later. Increase radius of bug prefab sphere collider. That's an easy one. Yeah. So we have these bugs. Sorry, I just bumped the mic. And if you look at where they are in the scene, they're over here making this. In theory, it's a wall that you can't throw things through, but obviously there are holes in that wall. So I'm just going to expand one and then commit it. Or sorry, not commit it. Apply prefab. And now they all do it. And there's no reason that they can't overlap, I think. So why not make it bigger? Because they're not rigid bodies, so they're not going to like push each other out, and they can just overlap. Fine with me. Yeah, so what you have to do is you have to like hit them with something flammable, and then they die. Sorry, not something flammable. Hit them with fire because they are flammable, and then they burn up and die. Boop. Those definitely need a particle effect to spawn. Visuals for explosions, smoke and ash, sound effects. Make fire Moogu set things on fire just by walking past things. That's the one. That's an easy one. Well, we'll find out actually, because that used to work, and then I changed it because I didn't want to have so many on trigger enters happening. So now it's on collision enter, if I remember right. Let's find out. Spreads fire if others. Yeah, okay. On collision enter. Yeah. I'm gonna just disable all of these except for one, so that when I hook up the debugger, it's not insane. Unity is also not a fan of setting your breakpoint before you hook up the debugger. So I'm gonna do that. And then hopefully we're still good. So where's my collision? I bet it's because it's kinematic. So we have a kinematic rigid body with a collider that is not a trigger collider. And we have, where am I at? We have a collider and a kinematic rigid body. So two kinematic rigid bodies colliding with each other equals no event. And we take that one off, kinematic. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to throw the Moogu, but that's what happened, is that I threw the Moogu, and when you throw it, we turn off kinematic so that you get the gravity, and then you get the event, and it sets the fire and whatnot. Okay, so the solution, I think the solution is just to remove the rigid body from the plants, but as usual, I have to look this up because I don't know. No, nobody knows. Nobody really remembers how on collision enter works. Documentation. I should just print this out and stick it on the wall, this collision matrix. Okay. Kinematic rigid body will collide only with another rigid body that is not kinematic. So that really actually isn't helpful at all. A rigid body, which has, hold on. Static collider, rigid body. So a non-kinematic rigid body will collide with all three. Kinematic rigid body. Yeah, okay. So if the plants have a collision message, they don't need to be rigid bodies at all. Yeah, this is dumb. I guess I do want trigger enter. Flammable, spread fire. Let's see how I'm doing Moogu flammable. I'm not. I'm like, it's Moogu flammable is only from the fire script, I think. Right. On trigger enter if other, yeah. I just really didn't want to have a trigger collider on every Moogu. That's what it was. So on collision edge. So that works. That's a non-kinematic rigid body colliding with basically any other type of collider that's not a trigger. That works. So I mean, I guess I can just make these plants not kinematic. I don't even know why they're rigid bodies anymore. They're only rigid bodies for collision reasons. If that's the case, then they should be static colliders. And static colliders, kinematic rigid bodies, collisions. Well, let's try it. I can use the constraints. It seems like way too much overhead on the physics. It's probably going to give me a warning right in the inspector saying, if you're doing all this, you should probably be kinematic instead. I mean, I guess this is what triggers are for. I know rigid bodies are for things that move. Okay, let's do that. See if it works. See how dumb it feels, and then I'll probably scrap this and go back to triggers. I think I might just need to invert the control. I think it's an inversion of control problem. You gonna set him on fire? You gonna do it? Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I don't know. Let me see. Kinematic rigid body. Static trigger. Oh, you know what? I think I can do it that way. It also means I can walk through them. I just don't remember who gets the on-trigger enter. If it's... do they both get the on-trigger enter? Let's find out who gets the on-trigger enter. draw non-trigger enter. Okay, sure. So this is how I'm essentially swapping out the trigger enter and the collision enter functions based on which reagent you're using. So heavy Moogu passive is now I got an error because it doesn't implement abstract class. No, I'll leave it empty the same way I did tick there. All right, let's try this now. So it's going to do both now. So these, which are static trigger colliders, and these, which are non-static trigger colliders. Those non-trigger static collider. First off, those should just be sphere colliders. That's unnecessary for them to be mesh colliders. Yeah, okay. So kinematic, rigid body, static trigger collider, static collider, kinematic rigid body, static collider. So that won't work unless those had rigid bodies or are triggers. These, well, let's just try it. I'm pretty sure that I've made firework on the grass and not on the those bush thingies. So. And the player can now walk through the grass because they're triggers. Okay, so that works. And I can also throw it. Oh, I think my one Moogu died. The particle system on every plant. So those are placeholders for now. I mean, what do you mean unnecessary? You mean like overhead-wise? Particle renderers are cheap. But they're definitely placeholders. And they're going to be different. All right, so that works. Let's try these ones over here. Okay, so on collision enter worked. I guess I'll wait for them to respawn and see if I can still do that. Come on, come back. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's that bug fixed. come on. All right, screw this. I'm switching to source tree. I was just trying to commit individual files there, but GitHub for Windows is, it handles the permissions and stuff really well of like logging into github.com, but it's not nearly as good about actually letting me do the things that I want to do with Git. Okay. Okay, so that's that, and anything else? So commit those files too. Usually when I'm streaming, I like go through at the end and commit what I did, but I want to keep this discrete because I know I'm making a bunch of changes that I don't want to commit, and so I'm trying to keep it explicit and just like when I know that I fixed something, I'm going to commit it. So cool. It also makes refactoring and merging way easier if you keep your commits smaller. Okay, back to here. What's next on the Trello? Yeah. Okay. So let's think this through. We want to pool our effects, and we want to spawn them with some sort of singleton. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. How do I want to do this? I want an effect prefab manager that will have public function to spawn an effect at a position, and it will pool the objects, and maybe it'll have like a hash table of effects and prefabs so that we can pool them. And then I want to expose that to possibly animation events and definitely unit events. The way we did it in Rival Books of Aster is we made all of our basically all of our scripts inherit from like our own mono behavior. Like we made a class that inherited from mono behavior, and then we made all our scripts inherit from that. And then so we just had like public void spawn effect, and that handled the grabbing the effect prefab manager singleton and whatnot. I think I'm going to do it in a different way. I'm going to do composition rather than inheritance, as one does nowadays. And so then on the things that need to spawn effects, I'll add a component to do that. And we used an enum for the effects, which was nice because then you could have like a drop down to pick one. But I think with Odin, we can do it a different way. So let's try this. Effect prefab manager .cvs, not what I meant to do. Rename. Cool. Using Unity Engine. Namespace. Terrorarium gameplay.fx. Let's make a new namespace. Let's make it a singleton. good enough for me for singletons. Public void spawn effect, and we'll say I'm gonna need. Am I gonna do it with interfaces, or am I gonna do it with behaviors? Well, let's see. So we need something to be like the type of effect, and so we will. Should we give them IDs? I feel like this is a terrible idea, but let's try it anyway. Spawn effect prefab. I wonder. This. You know what? I'm gonna skip the interfaces for now because I know Odin Inspector is going to make this super easy. And then one more script is going to be so then we just have to do great. Yeah, I still like that's actually not what I want because that's effect prefab. Well, okay, whatever. We'll do pooling later. Really? Cool. effect prefab will have how am I going to do this? This is weird. Let me think this through. I can't bring myself to do it without building in the pooling now. So what I need is like a unique ID to be the key in a dictionary, and then the value will be the prefab. You know what? Let's do it a different way. And by a different way, I mean I should probably just look up how I used to do it. Because yeah, in Rival Books we had an enum, which is a list of all of the different effect types, and then you could just instantiate with that enum. And the nice thing was you could also like randomize and grab one from a list there. Okay, you know what, I'm overthinking it. Let's do the naive version first. So spawn a prefab, spawn a prefab. Okay. Then on destroy. Cool. Anyway, let's Let's set a couple of these up. Okay, so game object, whatever, cube. That's an effect prefab, and then we'll go up into, I guess, global. Effect prefab manager, cool. And then let's say on these fire thingies, we'll add effect prefab spawner to the prefab. Great. Then so here, spawn. So these will make cubes when they die now. Okay, so light them on fire. When the fire is done, they will all make cubes, hopefully. Great. Nice. Actually worked really well. So let's go further with this. Range it inclusive, so prefabs dot length -1. Cool. So now, yeah, definitely missed that. So now it'll spawn a random one from that list, and that's great. That's there. So that's not what I want. Okay. Okay. So, for now, we'll do that. I guess, I mean, I don't even need to use the singleton if I want to pass in the manager, but I'll just leave it like this for now. Do it all with dependency injection too. Okay, so, and returns it to pool, which doesn't do anything yet. Set active false, sure. Begin resets the start time, and yeah, do that there actually. And then for our designers, I'm going to expose some Unity events so that they don't have to get into the code or do anything crazy. I'm going to comment that out for now. I'm not using that line. Alt-Shift-A. There we go. That'll work. On destroy. Yeah, I'll call it on destroy. Kind of treat it as a reset. Feels weird using on destroy because that's like a Unity built-in name for a function, but I'll leave it. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. On destroy. And return to pool, we'll deal with that after. Let's do this. Just look something up. Okay. Wait for particles. Lifetime. So now here, update. so if wait for particles and particles is not null, and then else and either way. Nothing in here should break, so we should never end up back here. Update will stop when we do set active false. Okay. Oh, it's been a while since I did this. I'm just going to cheat and look up some code that I wrote a while ago. But there's a way to check if the particle system is still on, and I have forgotten it, but I wrote it, so I'm going to just get it. But now I have to log into GitHub with my two-factor. This might take a while. GitHub. There it is. Okay. So now destroy me after particles. What did I call this script? Yeah, is alive. There it is. I probably could have figured that out. Okay. So wait for particles. Okay. On spawn, on destroy, lifetime. Yeah. Okay. Save. Okay, we have this one, and then we're gonna make prefab 1, which is gonna use, I don't know, a different material. So some will be red, some will be green, just so we can see if the random bit works. Flammable, scroll down. So we'll do both. And then it'll do that, and then prefab spawner. That's weird, though it's meant to be a public. Yep, because that's on the wrong. I'm looking in the wrong place. Here we go. Lifetime. Let's make it 3, and we don't need to check. Okay, so that's backwards as well. Can I invert it? Waiting for our Unity update. No, that's still backwards. Hide if. So hide if false, right? that's interesting. Animate member name value. I guess I need a 3 parameter version. True. Okay. There we no. Still backwards. Hide if false. That's like, I'm gonna switch them, but I don't think it's gonna work. All right. Well, that's done. Try one last thing and then I'm gonna give up. Oh, they have a show if. Wow, I'm an idiot. I should have just done it that way. Okay, there we go. Show if, wait for particles, particles. So that's great. And then lifetime is that. Start time, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. On the spawner, it'll spawn random one of these. I should document this. And that's fine. Okay. Okay. Cool. So test effect prefab, lifetime of 10. This one lifetime of 3. Don't wait for particles. Lifetime of 10. Wait for particles. Now we add a particle system. Cool. Check this thing, go to the prefab, make sure it's set to do both. Great. Shoulder's still so sore. All right. Well, I'm gonna light that on fire. They have all made the red one. And the red one is one with the particles. And it did appear to wait for the particles to be done before it destroyed itself, which is nice. Do color over lifetime so we can just see that the particles did disappear like that. particles. So we shouldn't see any popping out because the particles are being set to fade. Go even further, I'll give it like a shorter lifetime than the particles. So the particles have a lifetime of 5, give that a lifetime of 1. This one can also have a lifetime of 1 and no wait for particles, and so the problem is now just in our code. Effect prefab spawner, random.range 0, prefabs.length -1, random.range, inclusive, exclusive. Yep, I just read it wrong, and that's it. Okay. And I should set a good example by resetting those particles on destroy. Nice. That worked great. Sorry, nice. I've been watching too much Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I am way too much like Jake Peralta. Anyway. Maybe I should rename on destroy to like on reset, just so that everybody knows what's going on. I'll do both. I will make them. I'll call them at the same time, but just so the designers know why they're there. So now, as part of setting the good example, we go into the effect here, and we're going to turn off play on awake on the particles. We'll hit the spawn button for that. With spawn, I mean emit. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this burst. If it'll let me tab over there, okay, yeah, great. Turn off that. So now here. On spawn, particle system, that I didn't need to do that. Emit, 100. That's it, that's all I need to do. But I can chain them now, so if I had like spawner, I can make it spawn another yeah, I mean I can make it spawn another prefab, so like we go from fire to smoke to skeleton, whatever, I don't know. Cool, so save that. This one, don't wait for particles, that's set up there, on burned. Right now we don't actually have anything that puts out fire, so I can leave on extinguish as is. So to spawn a random one of those. So that's that. I'll do pooling later, I guess. I keep saying I'll do pooling later. I've like stubbed it in. I've put in the placeholders for spooling, for pooling. Okay, let's see. We're gonna have sound effects later. And then it's going to spawn some cubes. Yeah! I love it. I love it. Okay. And then... So. Pooling. I don't know if I can use an asset as a key in a dictionary, but maybe I should try. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Pulling. I just need something unique for them to be a string. I mean, I could use just a hash. Could do string to hash. Okay, let's think this through. If I'm putting the randomization on the spawner as opposed to on the manager, then I don't need a dictionary of arrays. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, you know what? I will just do the pooling later, like I keep saying. So I'm just going to write to do pooling. Every effect prefab will call end, and it'll do that, and that's fine. And we're not going to call destroy anywhere. We're just going to set off active false. Okay, cool. So so that solves a couple open Trello cards that I had. That solves wanting to make like a smoke particle when shit, where did I put my cards? Smoke and ash. Sure, yeah. Visuals of some sort for explosions. So let's go to explodable rock, for example. On explode. And that's it. And the reason I do it in Unity events instead of like in just in the code is to make it flexible for our designers who are working in Unity Editor and working on these prefabs. Explodable. What else is explodable? Debugs. so the bug has unburned, bombed. I'll be right. That's not what I wanted. Remove component. Reset trigger. Spawn prefab. Okay. One thing that is missing is actually these bugs like dying. So what's the deal? Oh, I'm so damaged. Going to explode. Yeah. And then explode. And then die. Okay, so actually, cool. So let's change that a little bit. But what I really want to do is at the end of the die, trigger a unit event. But no, I can't modify it. It's read-only because it's imported from Maya or something. So what's the deal with that? Can I make it not read-only? Oh, it even came with some effects. What that? Legacy particles? No? Cool. So this is nice. I can take basically all of these. If I just add effect prefab to them and wait for particles, and you know what? Make it even simpler. I don't think I can do this, but I'm going to try it. I'm like 90% sure this doesn't work. Yeah. However, Unity mono behavior void reset, I think. Yeah. Sweet. So that'll work when I add it the first time, or if I hit reset on it. So let's remove. Remove component. Come on, Unity. Add component. Boom. Very nice. So now I go to the bug, and just do that. Definitely need it to destroy itself, though. I'll just add that as like a utility function in Flammable, I guess. Because the way it's set up right now is if onBurned is not null, then we call onBurned, and only if there's no Unity action specified and it won't respond, do we do destroy. So I'm just gonna this because it's easier. I might as well use it here. And that way I don't have to add one more component just to do this, because I want to do die, I want to spawn the effect, and at the end of the die animation, oh no, that doesn't solve my problem. Ugh. That still doesn't solve my problem because of this darn read-only animation. So what can we do about that? Events. Hey, I can add an event. So let's just check this out. Apply. Die. Can I move it? No, of course not. That would just be too easy for me to be able to do it all in the same place, Unity. And so how long is this animation? I don't even know. It is... Okay, so I want to put it on frame 40. Oh my god, really? Look, they're not even the same scale. Or maybe these bars are the same scale, but they're not even like... They don't line up. Okay, let's just assume that that's the end. Function, destroy me. Great. Save. This may or may not work. Apply. Like, when else do I have to hit apply? I guess it's an import setting, but like, I'm just changing a thing in my project folder. I don't normally have to hit apply. Okay. Die. You. Die. Oops. I didn't mean to do it on the shared controller. But also, is that looping? What? Like what? Die. Don't loop. Don't loop. Preview? I can preview it at least. So what's the deal? Is it transitioning back to nothing? Like, no, just delete that transition. Delete that transition. Save, I guess. Thank you. Thank you, Unity. So this is cool. It also means that I can run like spawn or whatever from an animation trigger, but you don't get to choose which component because it's just like using send message. So I'm gonna leave it like that for now. So let's go back into here. Let's kill some bugs. So I'm gonna just increase the current heat to 1. It turns red. It spawns some sparks. It dies. Cool. Okay, so select. Explosive bug orange. Current heat, burn threshold, max heat. Okay. fuel. So I'm just gonna put that up to 3 so it'll like stay alive a little bit longer. Okay, let's see how that goes. Save. Yeah, we'll do that. I think this might be about the end of the stream. Let me see what other fun prefabs we might have in here that we can just stick the effect prefab script on. Yeah. I don't know what these look like, but I'm just going to do it. Effect prefab. Ta-da! You know what? I don't even need those 2 that I made, I guess. You know what, I'm gonna leave those because that's maybe too much. I did some explodables. Forgot what those were. Okay, so that handles a lot. I want to do sound effect playing as well, and then visuals for when the Moogu die. Yeah, I'll do that off stream. So let's just do a git commit, and then we're done. Oh, and then we get to merge. That's always exciting. I don't know. Somebody's got to have solved this by now, but like Git doesn't track deletion of empty folders, and Unity creates a meta file for empty folders. And it's like, it's always a problem. And I swear someone's like, not I swear, I really hope someone has solved this. All right, okay, so that and that. What changes did I make to flammable.cs? Yeah, that's one of the changes I made right there. Destroy me. Yep. So I do want that. Like I said, so often when I'm streaming, I make changes to files just for, you know, quick testing or for illustration purposes, and I don't want to commit them. So I'm making sure that I really did mean to commit these, and I'm not committing any scene changes. Cool. So now, discard changes to the scene and the stuff that I didn't want to have changed. We'll take a look at what's happened upstream. Active abilities, blah blah blah. Okay, cool. Pull, rebase instead of merge. That's my secret weapon. Come on. Yeah, success. No conflicts. Let's see how it does. Looks like it worked. Might have to remake nav meshes, we'll see. Okay, we set some stuff on fire. I haven't actually even tested these smoke prefabs, so maybe they look awful, but oh, they just didn't. That's cool. That was my bad for not testing them. So what's going on? Why? Yeah, it's because I don't have the manager. I'm amazed that I don't have errors. Okay, so what's the deal here? Effect prefabs 1. Oh, come on. Save. Okay, amend latest commit. My other secret weapon. But also, like, shouldn't that have given me an error if the instance was null? Spawn effect. I mean, I guess it could be one of those self-instantiating singletons. Doesn't need to be, though. Come on, I swear I did this. Did I not apply? Create empty. Effect prefab spawner. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even need that. That's also the wrong. It's the wrong component. Manager. Yeah, maybe I'll get it this time. Okay. Maybe I forgot to apply that prefab. I'm amazed it didn't give me a null reference error, though. Maybe Unity actions don't do non-reference errors. That'd be weird. Okay, so set that stuff on fire. Yeah! I think I'll probably want to add some control over the rotation of the effects. Yeah. And then if I turn off looping on this one, for example, I don't know. I'll let someone else deal with that. Save. And then if I've committed the change to the managers, then I don't need to commit the change to the scene. Can't wait for nested prefabs. All right, so discard my scene change, open it back up, make sure that it still works. So is it spawning the right prefab? Yes. Is effect prefab manager in the global? Yes. All right. Push. Thank you very much for watching. And like I said, join the beta sign-up mailing list, and you too could be playing this. That was dumb. I don't know. Thanks for watching. My name's Aaron. Check us out on, well, you're on our Twitch, so you know where to find us. Terrorarium.games. Bye.